To order, October 14th, 2025, and as always, we'll do the invocation and pledge. Please stand. Our Father, thank you for this day. Help us and guide us, give us the directions to do the best we can and make the best decisions for the people of Horry County. We thank you for this county, and we ask that you keep all of our first responders safe and out of harm's way. All this, amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have no public input and review and approval of agenda content.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of minutes for September 9th, 2025.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll start with our resolutions to express the council's desire to limit residential rezonings for density. Mr. Randy.
So thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of council, or committee. So I'd like to bring to you something to consider as we continue to work through rezonings and growth throughout the county. So this resolution is also tied into number 3 on the discussion items for today. As we start looking at public safety and the growth over the next number of years, including our 10-year plan that we have provided to council now for a number of each year update, we need to start taking, I would like for us to start taking a look at how can we manage some of the rezonings in the areas that will begin to give us the most concern for fire coverage, being the areas that are only staffed with volunteer stations and also areas that are in our ISO 10 areas of the county still that we have. And the ISO 10 section is what basically means you may not get insurance at all for your house. But the volunteers, we have a great group of volunteers that work very hard, but they have their limitations as well during daytime as well as evenings. It's not like it used to be. So we do supplement those calls with the closest career station that gets on the way, but it is a response time issue. And so it's just something that we've been talking about. I would like the committee to consider. We did put together a resolution to kind of look at that, to not stop it, but maybe have second thoughts on it, maybe the way to look at it, or what can be done. Because the problem is we got to be able to fund, and it's not so much building the stations as it is the annual salary requirements for the career folks, which could be, $1.5 million or more, depending on what needs to be in there over the course of forever. So I know we've had some offer to build stations for us, but even though that's hard, that's the easiest part. So that's and then looking along at that line, just also with our law enforcement side, we continue to grow. Our needs are continuing to be tremendous. You're seeing a lot of things changing in the communities. Juveniles a big piece. We've started to look at that with our efforts from the chief and behavioral services group, and looking at a lot of different things. But still, we still got to consider the growth of patrol officers and how we're going to continue to handle the growth as it moves more west, because that's where we have the fewest number of officers covering the largest areas. So just a little bit of a soapbox thing for y'all from my perspective, but any questions? Do you want?
I'm all for it, by the way. Let me say that, but don't we need to, well, first of all, getting personnel for fire departments, police departments becoming harder and harder and harder. That's number one. So, I mean, it's not that we can't build a station. You can get brick and mortar, but once you build a station, how do you man it?
Well, that's a national problem, especially more so on the law enforcement side than the fire, but it's difficult on both of them.
Yeah.
And that's something else I think we're going to have some other considerations on as we move forward too, because we're taking all the steps that we can, not just salaries, but work environment, equipment, the best things that we can provide our officers in the street, but we still struggle to find people to fill those spots.
Exactly.
Just the environment we're in. And it's not just Horry County, it's all over the county, it's all over the South Carolina, it's all over the country. Fire, we're a little luckier in some aspects, but it's still not easy. And even in the 911 side, we just did 21 new hires, and we've already lost 3. It's just, sometimes it's just not the best fit in that environment. So, and that's true of all of public safety. So I know we'll talk a little more about it at the fall retreat in more detail, but this one in particular issue with the fire, I think, is something that we all consider. So
Right.
we do have the resolution if you need Mr. Jordan to go through it or anything.
You wanted to
I-
discuss that now, or?
Yeah.
Well, the western part of the county, Tom's district, Al's, mine, and part of Mark's, I've got an area that they're proposing about 1,200 homes in addition to the 300 and something that's there, and there's rural fire, it's not manned stations. In an ISO 10 rating, it makes your insurance higher, but in some cases, insurance companies won't even insure. And if you got a bank loan on your home and your insurance cancels, then the bank's you better be making some fast arrangements or they're gonna cancel your loan. So it's a problem that's with the western part growing the way it's growing, and something that we are definitely gonna have to address.
Mr. Chairman, on the map, we took, I failed to get that up there for you earlier. So you can see the stations that are colored areas, that's the volunteer stations that we currently have that are all volunteer. And then the red areas along with that is the ISO 10 areas. So you can see just what you said, Mr. Chairman, that area around Loris, Cherry Hill, all that, that's huge. And that's the immediate need issue, and then moving west as we go over time, so the next problem.
You'll often hear me say, I'm here because I care. And you'll often hear me compliment and praise our staff for professionalism and because our staff cares. This, to me, is a perfect example of a staff that cares and trying to look for the future, trying to forecast, just like our police department does, trying to be forward-thinking. People are quick to attack us and tell, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? This is something we're doing. Thank you for doing a great job of what you do and your people that support you. Thank you. And I'd like to make a motion, we move forward with a resolution to pass on to the council.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the thing we've got to look at, and this is totally not public safety, but the local option sales tax. If we don't work together to get that through so we can lower the taxes that our people are paying on real property now, the taxpayers are going to have to fund this. And that's not going to, with us needing a new police station, work at the jail, it's not going to be a cheap bill. So something we all need to start working our districts for that local option sales tax. All right.
Thank you.
Good. All right. We will move on to discussion item, Chief Tanner.
Waiting for your fires and things.
Good morning.
Band matches.
So welcome to Fire Prevention Week. We move every year into Fire Prevention Week, making things happen. Thank you for passing our resolution at the last council meeting. This year we talk about the lithium-ion batteries and charging the fire safety. I know we've had a couple of discussions with council members about that before too. We work very closely with the landfill about how we can help them move process. That's what this code is down here for. Teach you how to dispose of your batteries, and the best way to do that, we're working with the landfill as well too. So we're pushing that issue out around our entire county right now. Community risk reductions, what used to be called fire prevention all the time, is community risk reduction now. These are the things that we do out in the community: fire safety, smoke alarm installation, CPR, community risk reduction house, the fire safety house, kitchen fires, fire extinguishers, escape planning. It also addresses things like severe weather in there as well too. It has a place where you pick up a 911 call, how to call 911. Different community programs and events, school programs, HOAs, fire station visits, and then citizen CPR training, AED training. All these things we do out in the communities all the time. We have a strong partnership with CCU, resident assistance training and campus preparations. We always talk about the 5 leading causes of fire in the home: cooking, smoking, extension cords, space heaters and candles. What is the common denominator, you think, there?
People.
Absolutely.
And a cigar.
That's exactly right. It's the people being too busy, leaving things happening in place here. That's why we have that job in place here. And so we really push that hard. During disasters, we always talk about candles and your generators and those kind of things, because those are the things that have people get injured or killed or burn their houses down. A little bit about what we're doing here in our communities here. You look at our response to the community. If you look at 2023, fire calls 13,000, 2024 15,000. As of 9/30, we're at 14,000 for the year. EMS calls, the same thing that you see as an increase. Right now, if you look at the bottom right-hand corner, we're at plus 9% at the same time, 2024. You see we had a 3% increase, a 4% increase. This year, we're up 9% right now. So our call volume continues to increase every day. Community risk reduction, smoke alarm installs, batteries, and education of citizens. And you see where we are with those numbers as well, too. We were 18,000 2024, we're at 14,000 right now for the year. So we're reaching out to the community as best we possibly can with what we have to do, how we do that, but would also maintaining all the calls that we have an increase on a daily basis around. Yes, sir.
Do we require new homes to have smoke detectors?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Serving our community, fire incidents, 18% of our calls are fire incidents, 82% were EMS calls. You see it moving in place here. 200 plus structural fires last year, cooking, grilling, those kind of things. Medical calls, 67 last year, 67,000. Difficulty breathing, cardiac events, sick calls, and overdoses. Those are our top call volume that we've had moving forward here. Trauma emergencies, vehicle crashes, we have those kind of things. I mean, it's hardly not a day we go by we don't run several vehicle crashes around the county, and they're all very severe. Those who we provide service to, 600 plus career members, 150 plus volunteers, out of 4 battalions, 24-hour shifts, out of 41 stations, 130 fire apparatus, harm reduction unit we've talked about before, and our fire investigation unit stays pretty busy with our arson dog Crosby. With addition to our administrative staff, training staff, EMS training, logistics, maintenance, information technology, and EC. That's kind of what it takes to make that machine run every day. Significant accomplishment that we're very proud of. Our harm reduction team, we've talked about that several times here, about what they've done with the opioid responses. Those people continue to grow, continue to stay busy all the time. We trained over 2,000 individuals how to recognize and respond to overdoses, over 500 individual doses of Narcan to members of the community. And that number continues to grow every day, but we continue to have those calls. And I know our coroner's office sees that as well too. It's an epidemic that we continue to deal with. We work with the law enforcement, the sheriff's office, the jail, everything together in place there. We hosted the International Association of Fire Chiefs Metro Fire Conference here. It was the largest Metropolitan Fire Chiefs Conference they've had in their history. We had over 11 countries assigned that came to that conference here in Horry County. We did that back in April. One of our firefighters was awarded the State Meritorious Award for Life Safety. He was by the South Carolina Firefighters Association this year. Expanded its drone program. We look at drones when people talk about, well, what do you use drones for? I will tell you, with the Covington Drive fire, it was paramount to us making decisions. Randy and David, I know you guys were primarily down at the command post. We were sitting in the operations center at the office, watching the drone coverage and calling to the command post and telling where the fire was headed next. Also watching the weather conditions that came across the county and telling how the wind was starting to shift. In several cases, we had the fire crews waiting on the fire to get to them, based on the drone footage in place here. Because you think about that, you see it on television, what used to be something you see was out there at space kind of happening. We're doing it today, and that's going to only continue to grow for us. We can see the FLIR side, which is the infrared, where the heat sections were and where they're not. The bottom side, our fire investigators now can take a photo. They used to go take a picture of a burned out house to focus on where the fire started. Now the camera technology gives them 3D imaging, so they can see the whole walls and places in place. It's absolutely phenomenal the technology we're using now. Two things here from the EMS side, a pilot program for advanced EMT program, which allows them to do more skills than they were ever able to do. The state held that number back for their skills for a number of years. We were the pilot project for the entire state. That project has now been accomplished and provided by the state for us to do that. We were the first ones to start using it before the state actually approved it for the rest of everybody. But what it's done is changed EMS statewide, allowing smaller communities who could not find paramedics to use advanced EMTs to do better services throughout the community. And the second thing is we talked about the whole blood program, where we were the first fire-based EMS system in the state to start using whole blood in our transport ambulances to take people to the hospital. Which means in the past, if something happened, we gave you an IV solution to get you to the hospital as fast as you possibly can. A lot of times that's not enough. The heart pumps blood, and we need to get the blood pumping in place there. So we're able to give patients blood, whole blood in the back of the ambulance to get them to the hospital. We've actually used it a couple of times since it started on October the 1st. We've used it already a couple of times. We designated a fire safe community by the South Carolina Fire Marshal's Office for the 4th consecutive year. We ran in 2023 and 24. The state's highest award for public fire safety education and community. We received that from the State Fire Marshal's Office. And then significant incidents. We talked about the 92-day incident covered in the drive. We've talked about that. Over 85 public safety, more than 1,500 people come and assist us in that incident place there. Command post at a fire station, Station 39, and Operations Center at ML Brown. That's how we managed that incident for those 92 days. Atlantic Beach bike rally back in May. I know we've talked about that with the director and different, how do we deal with those in the years coming up. We've had 2 multi-casualty incidents there back to back on the 23rd and 24th, one at the main stage and then the shooting down the boat landing. And we continue to look at the significance that you see in place here. These are things that some people never see. You see the boat fire we had up in Little River. We had a boat fire this past week out in the ocean as well too. And we're always out there even doing the small things. We do get cats out of trees. We get them out of storm drains. We get ducks out of stuck in storm drains. We're there changing tires on the side of the road. When the citizen needs help, we're there doing what we need to do. So it's just not doing what was used to be the fire department. You said you got a call, you did something. Public safety, police, sheriff, 911. We are community oriented. We're going to continue doing those things here. The future things, Fire Rescue 6, Fire Station number 6, and frankly, we have the groundbreaking where Mr. Loftus will get ready to do what hopefully Station 31 for Prestwick. Recruit Academy moving forward here. Again, all these things are things that happen here every day. So you'll see these things in place here. You see we got recruit academies going on for career. We have an onboarding for a volunteer fire academy right now for volunteers coming as well too. So it's not just career for us. We continue to need and encourage to get volunteers to help us moving forward as well too. And we still have 2 outstanding grants to hear from, and that is the AFG grant for 34 career people, and then fire prevention grant for outreach has been submitted. We're right now in the process trying to hire 2 additional harm reduction people as well too, and then working with the director and other public safety agents on the Public Safety Training Center. Anybody have any questions? So we're staying a little busy.
Thanks, Chief.
Little busy.
Do we currently buy Narcan, or is it still on a grant program?
So we are purchasing Narcan. We're working right now of a way with the Otis right now to help provide Narcan to us.
Yeah,
So we're working on
it's kind of both.
Yeah, it's kind of both. We're trying to get a way to get it. Most of it given to our harm reduction team for free.
Okay. I've said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. If we're spending tax money on Narcan, what about a child who needs a EpiPen? So keep that in mind, because I'm very compassionate about them instead of, because they're not the ones that are making a conscious decision.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate the great work.
Thank you, sir. Chief Leonhardt, Public Safety.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to be pretty short and sweet. I have no presentation really. Just want to give you an update on the bike rally, fall bike rally from October. Basically this year, Hurricane Imelda and Umberto kind of changed our plans a little bit with that as far as our staffing. We pushed back our staffing to Thursday to accommodate the crowd that we thought would come in on the weekend. We were less busy this year as far as our total violations that we encountered. Last year, we had 189. This year, we had 120, so it's down some significantly. We did see the crowd sizes get larger as the weekend progressed, so we saw that. Any questions on bike rally issues or anything from the fall rally? Only other thing I wanted to update you on real quick is we're moving into a lot of our trunk or treat events and events for Halloween and the upcoming holidays, so we'll be out in your communities. If you need anything, let us know. Yes, sir.
Thought you did a great job on the radio, RNN, last week. I appreciate you being a good voice and spokesperson for our department and building those relationships in the community. Thank you. Great
Absolutely.
job.
Thank you, sir. Very important. Thank you very much.
Great job.
Yes, sir.
We go to Public Safety Training Center. Mr. Webb.
All right, so thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. Just wanted to pass along that we've finally started working on the grounds for the public safety training facility, which will be out there by the RSW building and Shea River Lawn and the Animal Care Center. First phase is, right now, they're actually started to clear the land. If you get a chance to go out by the Animal Care Center, you'll see what it's looking like. First phase that we'll start with is the driving track and the big concrete pad for fire rescue, and then in addition to the Animal Care Center, another kennel run for that. It's the first part's out there, and then the design of the actual training center is underway. Kind of fine tune that, and then we also have a master plan coming on board for the future of what we see, as I was kind of getting to earlier in my discussion about growth, how we're going to address several different additional items moving forward as we continue to respond to the growth needs that we have within the county. So just wanted to pass that along. Groundbreaking is coming up into the month, I believe. Yeah, so just thank you all for that. It's going to be a big, big help getting that more centralized than it has been, and getting the right tools to the right folks helps with recruiting and retention. So doing everything we can. So thank you all very much. That's it.
Thank you, sir. And we definitely want to thank the fire and police for the job that y'all have done with the growth that we have in this county and the special events that we have. Y'all do I've been there, some of them firsthand, and y'all do an excellent job, and we appreciate it. And I'll mention again, we still got a lot of stuff we got to do for us in the police department. I think most of us in here have toured it and understand the problems that you've got and what we need to work on, as well as, the jail and different things that we need to take care of in the future. But with that said, any questions, any comments from the meeting? Being none, we have our next meeting November the 4th, and we are adjourned.
Thanks, sir.
Damn. Danny, you did a lot better job than Bill. Bill just drug it on, and I think Bill's
We catch up on our.
Feel like this.
You got it, though.